Okay, on the website, johnhoban.com, Volume 1, Issue 2 is about backup. And since nobody reads anymore, I don't read enough, I'm making this vlog also because it's fun and I'm a geeky kind of guy. So anyway, this is about backup. And it's basically the same as if you go to the PDF file, it's better because you can sort of go at your own pace and reread something if it didn't make sense and look at the pictures. But I'm going to put it on video here and slides and shit because it's cool. All right. So when I was working at Apple, some of the worst, hardest calls were when someone would, parent or grandparent would call and say, I lost all my photos. And I've had people in tears of my grandson, my granddaughter, my daughter, my son, since they were a baby, and and I can't find them. Where are they? And I'd ask, did you have a backup or a time machine backup? And oftentimes they wouldn't even know what I meant. Sometimes we could save them, sometimes not. The other reason for backup is computers die, and you'll have documents on there, maybe tax records or resumes or whatever you're into on there, and you'll lose it. So, okay, I've worked with Windows for many years and PCs and Macs, and in general, the backup programs for PCs are utilities. I consider utilities, which are better used by technicians. Because they're not friendly in general. They're trying like hell, but even I, at the end of backing it up, wonder, well, did it really back up well? Can I just take a peek at it inside and see what's going on there? And with some of them you can, but it's just not so easy to do as it should be. When I got a job with Apple a few years back, I had to really get into Apple again and found that they give you a backup program when you buy an iMac or a MacBook, any OS X, now called Mac OS computer, called Time Machine. It's included. What they don't include is an external USB hard drive. And I'll put a picture of one up here because I don't have one handy. And you've probably seen them. You may have one, but you'll want one dedicated just for this purpose. And it doesn't matter where you get it: Walmart, Amazon, Staples. Just get a good deal on one. And I recommend getting one twice as big as the drive you're backing up, or bigger if you can afford it. And I'll explain why. And the name Time Machine gives the reason away. You may have files on your computer that you delete or lose or change. And down the road, maybe months from now, you may say, gee, I wish I had that old version, or I wish I still had that file. Well, Time Machine, when you initially start, it backs up the whole hard drive and then backs up a snapshot of things every hour. And if you ever have to restore it, you'll see there's actually a timeline column where you can go back through time and see what was on your computer at that particular time. Now, with these hourly backups, the hard drive gets full eventually, and it has to delete older stuff to make room for newer stuff. So depending on the size of your backup drive, that's directly related to how much time back you can go, and how many snapshots and dates back it will hold before it has to start deleting stuff, the older tail end stuff. So the bigger the Time Machine drive, USB backup drive, you may be able to hold a year or 2 years. It all depends on your amount of data you use and stuff you put on there, or maybe only a month or two. So the bigger the better. Okay. Yeah. So where was I? Yeah, the easiest one, again, is Time Machine. And here's what happens. Let's start using Time Machine. Say, oh, this is a great idea. You go out, you get a USB hard drive. I've got a 1 terabyte storage on my MacBook Pro. And, I got a 2 terabyte USB hard drive because I'm cheap, but it's still, not bad. When you plug that USB hard drive, you take it out of the box, say it's a Seagate or whatever, and you plug it into the USB port on your computer, you'll see this. And it says, do you want to use, and the name might be untitled, it might be Seagate Backup, Western Digital, it might be a lot of no name, I've seen that. But you'll probably get the idea. It's talking about your external USB new drive there. And you say, yeah, use this backup disk. Check that. It'll then automatically back up your whole hard drive. Leave it plugged in. Don't ever unplug it. If it's a laptop and you have to unplug it once in a while because you take your laptop with you, eject it properly in the Finder, and we can talk about the Finder later. And when you come back and you plug it in, the software is smart enough to know, hey, he did all kinds of stuff while he was on the road with this laptop, and I haven't backed up since this date. Let's go back up everything he did while he was away to the present moment. Pretty cool. But ideally, you just leave it plugged in unless you take your laptop somewhere. All right. Now, let's say you don't get this message up here initially when you plug it in. It happens occasionally. I'm not sure why, but what you do then is look up in the upper left-hand corner of your screen, all the way up, very top left, and if you don't see the black apple, kind of nudge your arrow up towards the top corner, and it should drop down your menu bar in case you're hiding your menu bar. Some people do. And when you see that black apple, click on it. See? Okay. Now, once you click on the black apple, slide down to System Preferences. Click on System Preferences. That'll bring up another window. Okay. This window. Okay. And on one of those lines, not necessarily the same line as in this shot, but you'll see an icon for Time Machine. Okay. Click on the icon for Time Machine, and you'll get another window. And that window looks like this. I love this green screen stuff. Okay. So, all right. Depending on the version, operating system, Mac, which, like all software is changing and updating and slight changes. On the left side, you may see it where there's a check mark for backup automatically. If so, check that. Or you may see like a big switch that says on, off. Turn it on. And then over next to that, you see where it says select backup disk. Click on that. And again, just like before, it'll say, oh, do you want to use this disk, that disk? You find and select your new external USB hard drive, whatever the manufacturer called it. And you can rename it later, and we'll get into that with the Finder. But it'll back up the whole hard drive in the background. You can do other stuff meanwhile. It doesn't matter. And then every hour, it'll transparently back it up. If you disconnect it for a while, eject it, and go away on a trip and come back and plug it in again, it'll make up for lost time. It'll back everything up. And that's pretty much it. I don't have an ending for this, except to say it's probably a lot simpler without my ramblings to go through a well thought out and edited PDF file, which is on johnhoban.com. Music. I'll add some music there. Okay, thanks, folks. You can email me questions or whatever. See ya.